Hey guys, welcome back to Tarot by Cherie. We're going to get started on today's reading and see what beautiful messages Spirit may have for my beautiful lights. And let's go. First card up is the Four of Swords. So first off, I'm seeing some of you that have been feeling some kind of way, stuck actually. All right, I feel like you've just been feeling down in the dumps and you feel like you need a break. You're exhausted mentally and you need this break. This is what you want. All right, and you're feeling stuck about it. A lot of you are wanting a vacation. A lot of you are just wanting to maybe have some time off from your job. All right, I'm seeing movement here with you guys. This is something else. This is all of you. You're all empaths. All right, let's continue and see what else is happening here for my lights. All right, I see balance coming in. That's going to give you a sense of freedom. So you're going to get some kind of release, a big release coming in from these emotions and feelings you've been going through. All right, I'm also seeing that there is some kind of decision, it looks like, being made by someone out there who's very intelligent and also very creative. You're making a decision regarding some type of do-over or a new start. All right, this has something to do with something that you've been working on for a long time, it looks like, and this has been a burden for you. So you've never been able to get this off the ground or complete it, it looks like. All right, but I do see this new start. I have the Judgment card next to this start because, again, you've been wanting this for a long time and it's never taken off or it's never come to fruition. This has been a huge burden. All right, and I am seeing that there's something, you might have said a prayer about this at one time or another. You might have prayed that this, whatever this is, comes through for you. And for many of you, this could be something different depending on what it is, who it is. Okay, we all have different dreams. And okay, well, here I'm seeing an upset. I have two feminines here, and just one of them looks like they're holding on to the other, and I'm seeing a new beginning. So I don't know if this is resonating with anybody. Two feminines, one is still holding on to the other, hoping for some kind of new start with this feminine. All right, I don't know if you're sisters or what your relationship is, but one of you wants a new start. So one of you is thinking about the other, and it looks like the other is upset as well. So yeah, the other one is having a tough time moving on, moving forward, and accepting whatever this is. All right, so you're feeling alone. This person's feeling alone and ignored. Also seeing for my Aquariuses, there's a lot of things going on in the background that are not, you're not privy to. You don't, the moon is things going on behind the scenes that are unknown. All right, so a lot of information out there perhaps, or something going on with some people that you know. There's some mystery here, it looks like, with some friends. And I see you ultimately walking away from one or two of these people. I feel like they don't have good intentions, and they might talk about you in a negative way when you're not around, and then when you're around, they're kind of like two-faced. They kind of, you know, lift you up when you're with them, and then when you're not with them. I feel like this is two people. So, you know, a lot of times when you meet up with these people, or you go out with them or whatever, that there's like a circle of you, three of you. So if this is making sense to somebody, listen up, okay? Because there's two people that you're spending some time with, and you often go out in threes, you and two other people. These people, you know, lift you up when you're with them, and as soon as you're not with them, they are talking shit about you, all right? And you might feel this. You might actually feel like some kind of fakeness, because Aquariuses are very hip to just feeling the energy. All right, you feel that energy. You know when people are have good intentions toward you and when they don't. You see their heart. Okay, and you're much more capable of that now. You're much more sensitive to it since you've been working on yourself, and you're vibrating much higher than you were, say, a year or two ago. All right, there's something here that is toxic, that is getting in the way of something. I see happiness all around this. Okay, so I feel like whoever I'm speaking to right now, you have this potential around you, but something you're doing or someone you're hanging out with is preventing it. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing the Ten of Pentacles. This is all your wishes and dreams culminating. This is a huge manifestation ability of yours that might be stuck, if you will, because of this toxicity here. Then you have the Ten of Cups. This is a happy family. This is either, you know, getting ready to meet someone new, or having somebody that you're in a relationship with that is changeable, that's going to change for the better. But until you address this, this won't happen. This won't happen. This and this won't happen. Knight of Pentacles is good news around your money, which cannot happen yet. Okay. Also, Six of Pentacles is some type of Six of Pentacles is a huge flow of incoming money and outgoing money. This is wealth and prosperity in its prime. This is you helping other people, doing humanitarian things because the money is just there. All right, so you're missing out on a lot of positivity here because of this. All right, dealing with somebody who's toxic is affecting you in many ways. Okay, more ways than one. Also, let me take a sip of water here. Also, if it's not a person and it's something you're doing, I think my voice is going away. Something you're doing that you know you shouldn't be doing, it isn't good for you. All right, you might be building this energetic toxin inside of you. This can build up. This can create blockages in your chakras. It could stop your chi, your flow. It can create toxin buildup in your body and create sickness or illness. So guys, if you're watching this video and you have stayed in a very unhappy situation for whatever reason you've told yourself, whatever excuse you've made, okay, and maybe you didn't try hard enough to change things for yourself, and you accepted being unhappy in your life and you got sick, okay, just know that I'm not a doctor, but this is a real thing that happens to people when they just can't express themselves. They're stuffing things down inside of themselves. They're not being their authentic selves and speaking their minds, and they're not at all protecting their energy. Okay, illness can follow and usually does. All right, so clearing this up could clear up all of your illness if it happened just like I explained it. All right, let's go forward with this Knight of Swords and the Temperance card. Wow, guys, look at this. This is very exciting. So we have Justice with this new financial beginning, the Wheel of Fortune, all surrounding the Justice card. Your patience. The Temperance is patience, but it's also balance. All right, look at this spread. Holy moly. All right, you've got something coming in quick. You've been patient for this. All right, and this is bringing balance because of your patience. It is wealth and prosperity and all kinds of spiritual things that are about ready to come in for you. You are going to be showered with blessings. That's what this card is. It's a showering of blessings. It's not one blessing. It's going to be many. This is going to be your justice, and it all has to do with a new financial beginning, guys, okay? So how cool is that? All right, guys, let's continue. I'm psyched. I'm psyched. That was one of the most beautiful layouts I've seen in a long time. Let's continue with the sunshine. All right, we have the sun, and in the center of the sun and good financial news, we have some kind of heartbreak or setback and sadness all around this good news. All right, so I feel like those of you who are going through it today, you're feeling these emotions today, some type of sadness, a setback, just feeling like everyone's out to get you, nothing's going right. All right, this is going to come in for you. All right, this is going to be like a smattering of doors are going to suddenly open. I want to say windows, doors. That's what the sun is. That's what I get from the sun. Windows and doors and all kinds of openings for you to go through these doors and windows and find opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And in this layout, they're talking about a financial opportunity and good news around it. All right, they also are saying this opportunity or these opportunities are going to continue to grow. All right, so this wand is something spiritual coming from nothingness, a hand coming out of the clouds, handing you off this spiritual wand, which stands for creativeness with tons of growth on it. All right, so meaning the sky is the limit. There is no limit. It's just going to keep coming. It's going to keep growing. All right, so let's continue. All right, we have the Hierophant with some kind of information that's going to bring an end to some relationship that some of you are in. All right. Also, this is a good time for me to mention I do offer readings, guys. I offer 10, 20, and 30-minute readings, also phone readings. If you want to see what they are and what they cost, you can go in, click on the description below the video and see what my offerings are. If you have questions, you want a reading. All right, let's continue here. The Hierophant is somewhat of a very spiritual card. So what I feel here is this is for those of you who are in relationships that are maybe haven't been making you happy, but also you've gone through changes over the past couple of years. You're both going in separate ways, okay? This is what's happening. You may not totally understand it until now when you hear what I have to say, but this is just the both of you are changing. Some people want to play it safe and stay in the third dimension and continue as they always have, not really wanting to know what's going on out there in the world, just playing it safe. Others want to move into this fourth and fifth dimension. They're looking forward to seeing all these new types of things that are going to come out that are going to make our lives easier and more easygoing. These financial gifts that are coming that are going to raise us up, and this is going to be a form of restitution. Okay, nefarious things have been done unbeknownst to us, and now you're going to start seeing it coming back in. All right, so here I'm seeing your something spiritual I get from this Hierophant card. So you're going to start hearing about this, hearing some messages about what I just spoke of. Okay, there's also the reason this is starting to come in now is something that needed to ended. It ended. All right. But again, I'm seeing relationships here that are now on two different wavelengths. You know, some of you have worked on yourselves and your frequency is very high. You're seeing things differently. You're believing different things than your partner is believing. And you're just moving in different directions. And sometimes that happens, guys, okay? So you're moving in different directions. You don't really agree anymore. You're kind of feeling like you lost your connection, which you have. And it is time to move on if that's the case. All right, not telling you all what to do. Of course, that's up to you. All right, seeing this Five of Swords here, somebody is not understanding how easily you can manifest in what you want, and especially you're not seeing that you can manifest in this person over here that you're wanting. All right, you're both thinking of each other. You're both thinking of each other and you know, you're separate. So I don't know if you know that you're thinking of each other, or if you're thinking, you know, I'm the only one in this thought process. I'm attracted to this person. I don't know if they're attracted back to me as well. I don't know what you're thinking, okay? But you're definitely thinking about each other here with this High Priestess card in the middle. This is intuitiveness. This is connection, all right? Manifest each other in. Whoever's watching the channel, you can manifest people as well as things, okay? Let's continue here. I'm seeing a King of Swords next to a Victory card. So I feel like this has something to do with a father and son, that one of you wants to reconnect. Maybe you haven't spoken in a while. Maybe you had a falling out. All right. It looks like your son is doing very well, and father wants to have this victory, wants to have a connection again, wants to be loving and giving, have this loving, giving relationship again. All right, let's see if we can get more on that. Okay, Spirit is saying you have the opportunity to do this, and they're saying, you know, you also have an opportunity to bring in all this joy and happiness between the two of you. So this is something that can absolutely happen for you, okay? And I see the only thing stopping you is maybe your ego, or you're feeling somewhat defensive about what actually came between you. If this is you guys, please comment below the video, all right? Give me a little information so I know which layout we're talking about, okay? Haven't seen my son, or haven't seen my father, something like that. All right, Nine of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles. All right, guys, so this is a power couple. All right, the feminine aspect is very independent, does very well in life, is I got quiet. You're quiet because you're confident, and you don't need to be boisterous, or, you know, be telling people anything. You keep to yourself. You know who you are, and you don't let people cross your boundaries. You're with this very strong, wealthy King of Pentacles, it looks like, and there's some focus on him right now. There's some focus on him. It looks like he's getting a lot of attention right now for some reason, and you're feeling conflicted with this. You're feeling ignored, okay? If this is you, comment below. All right, yes, you're going to get clarity on this. You're going to get clarity on the situation. You might feel like a tower moment is going to come in. Maybe you're feeling not so secure, like somebody's going to steal your man, or somebody's going to come in and, you know, try to take advantage because he's out. He's doing something where he's getting a lot of recognition, I feel. All right, so but I am seeing strength here. You guys have a very strong relationship. I'm seeing you're going to be celebrating. You're going to get clarity on, you know, all of this, and you just need to connect and speak your mind, okay? That is going to help. All right, Knight of Cups. All right, this is for somebody who got laid off or lost their job, and you're in a state of panic right now. You are a hard worker. You're very ethical at what you, not ethical, but you have a good work ethic, I'll say. You work hard, okay? I do see that things are chaotic right now, and if you didn't know this, things are chaotic in your workplace. It's not just about you, all right? There are going to be more of these happening to other people. All right, it looks like that you're very giving and loving, and you feel like you got the short end of the stick. You gave a lot of your time and energy to this place, and they're not, you know, perceiving your value. They're not paying you back in any good manner, okay? I'm seeing that this is making you feel very stuck. Just know that this isn't just coming, they're not just coming for you, and it doesn't have to do with your work ethic. It has to do with the inner workings of the company and things that they need to do. They might need to make things smaller. They might need to watch their bottom line and have some layoffs, some firings, or whatever they choose to do. And unfortunately, a lot of times companies choose to fire because then they don't have to pay unemployment. So as bad as that seems, nasty, terrible, selfish, you know, this is what they do sometimes for survival if they're not doing well. All right, here I'm seeing, again, I got this reading yesterday. This is somebody's father. This is somebody's father is having a tough time out there, and it's getting harder and harder for him. And for whatever reason, no one's reached out to him. I feel like he may live by himself. All right, he's a beautiful soul, and he's having a really tough time and needs his family. He needs somebody, he needs help, okay? He might be being proud and not want to burden you, but if you have a father who lives alone, make sure you contact him, even if you haven't spoken, all right? You have to weigh it out. If it was something really terrible, I get it. But if not, and it was actually something that was partly silly, all right, maybe it's time to go check on him. All right, definitely had this reading yesterday, so I'm putting some, you know, some, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, it's important that you do this because he's really needing you now. All right, so that is today's reading, guys. I hope it resonated for most of you, if not all of you, and have a beautiful rest of your day.